People of dystopia, please rise. You are asked to rise to greet the mayor of dystopia, Gary Logan. People of dystopia, this is your beloved mayor, Gary Logan. People of dystopia, please remove your shoes. People of dystopia, please remove your clothes. There. That's a little better. Now we can really see what you're up to. Just kidding, I was kidding. People of dystopia, it's December 27th, 2012. People of dystopia, rejoice. I said rejoice. I said rejoice in the mall. I said rejoice in the mall. My friends, to get a little more serious, this is the mayor of dystopia speaking to you on December 27th, 2012, and I assure you that if there are any terrorists, that's right, I said terrorists! There are terrorists everywhere coming to get us. The mere suspicion that someone is a terrorist is justification for death. Just having a little fun with you. My friends, this is the beautiful land of dystopia where every dystopic dream has come true. And I, your cheerful mayor, I assure you that if there are these evil terrorists around, we are damn well watching what they're doing. That's because we of dystopia are now watching everything all of you are doing, and I mean everything. Hey, think of the most private, intimate thing you did or said today. Go ahead. This is just a little game we like to play. Think of the most private, intimate, dirty thing you did today. Well, you see, we were watching it. We were recording it. We were recording your body in all its glorious nakedness, or horrific nakedness, depending on how you feel about your body. But don't worry, if there are any terrorists out there, not only are we watching them naked, we of dystopia, we're watching them naked, which is not always so much fun. And we're even counting their keystrokes. It's true.
I believe a poet said, paranoia strikes deep, into your life it will creep. Now that guy was right. To live in a dystopia is to have your brain somewhat filled with paranoia. Among other things, you know the government is lying to you. You can be fairly certain. And creepiest of all, the government is watching you. We now live in a world which takes George Orwell's view screens from 1984 and metastasizes them throughout the world.
A people of dystopia. A people of dystopia. I'm sorry. Hey, people of dystopia, you wanna know how to keep this thing going? You don't like being, watched? You don't like having us take little bare naked pictures of you at the airports and forcing you to turn off your shoes and be, roughly goosed at the airport? People of dystopia, I know you love being goosed at the airport. And all that nakedness stuff. The fact that they have, naked pictures of us. Just, what a treasure. And they were caught. Our government, dystopia, I'm freely admitting this, because I know you've been talking about it, because I listen to everything you say. Yes. Coming soon, we're gonna be listening to your thoughts. Welcome to the Paranoia Matrix. Paranoia Matrix, where after the government, this is like a true story. I know it sounds like an allegory or some crazy drug trip you're having or something, but don't worry. It's only chemical. It's only chemical. Hey, yo! Well, isn't everything only chemical? But in truth, our government, having been caught spying on us in kind of a science fictional way, we're living in such an incredible dystopia that it feels like science fiction. Kind of a creepy, dull, maybe a kind of a cyberpunk thing. Here in dystopia, on December 27th, 2012, you might look back to a group of writers called the cyberpunk. Love the attitude. And it's not like I'm an expert in this, but cyberpunk, back in the 90s, I think, 1990s, or don't ask me technical questions about it, but there was a thing called cyberpunk, damn it. Wikipedia cyberpunk. Now, we will wait. Okay, thank you. Yeah, well, all I'm saying is that the cyberpunk people, maybe their vision of the future had a lot of value to it. Maybe they really did see what we're up to right now, where you see, we are being watched. And as I was saying, the government that made that legal, remember them? The supposedly elected government, the supposedly representative government, made it legal. That's what they did. Their response to getting caught, you understand? The government got caught violating the Constitution. And guess what they did? They made it legal. It's now, I guess, legal, according to them, you see. But, hey, dystopians, is there any way between hell and earth that we think this is a legitimate government? We here in dystopia are at war in Afghanistan. We are having our longest war, the longest war in our warlike history. We're having the longest war, and we're in there and kind of getting our butts kicked and not admitting it. It's happened before, over and over, I know. And it's like the wealth of the country is hemorrhaging out of us and disappearing into the sands of Afghanistan. Woo! where I, the mayor of Dystopia, am waiting for the man. Yeah. Well, it's literally true. The government's response to getting caught violating our rights with a kind of a science fiction cyberpunk spy program on all of us. Haven't you heard? Has this not been sufficiently drummed into your head? Probably not. The media and the government and anyone who has any kind of money or power has their own agenda about what's to be drummed into our heads, and it ain't the dystopic nature of the world we live in. But by the shocked look on your faces, which I can see, okay? I can see you, and I know what you're doing, and a whole bit. Well, I gather some of you didn't get the memo. Or have it sufficiently drummed into your beautiful heads that we are living in, at the very least, a surveillance state. Good God. Good God, I mean, look, here I am on December 27th, 2012. I'm making this show, I'm doing this show. Here, in the secrecy of my secret lair.
Deep beneath the earth, in the earth's deep core. Deep beneath the earth, in the earth's deep core.
But, you know, I bet they're watching it. Well, I suppose I should be pleased that somehow, someone, somewhere is already watching this show. I mean, they're watching the raw performance of the show. I hope you like it. Is there anyone up there? Am I talking about a real person? Nah. Probably just a damn algorithm. I don't really know what an algorithm is, and yet there's every chance there's an algorithm counting my bloody keystrokes, correcting my errors, perhaps. No? That's Mayor of Dystopia, thank you.
Sorry, oh, Mayor of Dystopia!
What is it, ugly little man?
How do you know when you're living in dystopia?
Well, Perry Logan will tell you so. Just kidding. In answer to that query by that ugly little man. Mr. Logan is amusing himself. You know, okay, you know you're living in dystopia because you feel like Alex Jones.
This is Alex Jones. The government did it. Repeat after me. The government did it.
The government did it. The government did it.
Thank you.
Okay, now. Who is Alex Jones and why is the mayor of Dystopia laughing at him? Well, actually though, okay, Alex Jones is a real person, and I'm doing a satiric version of a real person who is possibly the most conspiratorial guy in the world. Yeah, I know, because I enjoyed a fascination with Alex's rants. Here on Channel Austin. Here on the almighty, all-ruling, all-wonderful Channel Austin! Yeah!
Channel Austin! Yeah!
I'm sorry. We're having a little trouble with our transitions. Let me help you out here. Alex Jones is a conspiracy guy. And now we all feel like him. That's how you know you're living in dystopia. We all feel like a satiric version of a conspiracy guy. Isn't that part of the deal, right? You remember 1984, the novel, 1984, which featured a society where the government lied constantly, right? Among other things, George Orwell's pretty hard-lined authoritative government lied constantly. You remember they were saying, oh, production is up and the economy is booming. Touches close to home, doesn't it? The government lies about the economy and says it's good when it is in fact bad. Does this ring a bell, utopians? I said, does this ring a bell, utopians? You bet it does. Just look at this dystopian stuff. It's okay to dance. It's okay to dance. We are seeing some dystopian stuff. It will do you no harm. Okay, come on, everybody up. Come on, another thing about dystopias, enforced exercise. So everybody up, now! Dance to the dystopian music. No jokes. Oh dear, everything just melted away, and we seem to find ourselves inside a brain. Just another reason why the Perry Logan Show is the grooviest show ever. You're watching the Paranoia Matrix, which takes place in the dystopian universe of the United States circa December 27th, 2012. Happy New Year! Happy New Year! And I think what Perry's trying to say with this rather obvious symbolism is that living in a dystopic world, as we Americans most certainly do, it affects all of us. It affects you whether you care about politics or not. It is, simply put, kind of a bummer to live in a dystopic world. It's kind of creepy, is it not? To be watched by the government constantly.
Kind of creepy, yes.
Stop interrupting, or we'll send in the drones. Hey, serious point alert. Despite all this shtick, we're living in a society which has got some pretty dismal, authoritarian, creepy aspects. That's what we're talking about. And to make a long story short, this will affect your brain. You know, we are sensitive social creatures. And of course, there are some fairly down-to-earth things that happen in dystopic societies, one of which is we all keep getting poorer. Once again, in 1984, we all keep getting poorer. Once more. In 1984, of course, it was fairly clear they were getting poorer. That they were very, very poor, getting poorer. But never mind. That's a dystopic thing. That's why we live in dystopia, whether we like to admit it or not, and we don't, do we? And George Orwell had a little thing in this classic novel, 1984. Orwell had view screens. It was quite an insight into the future for Orwell. It was his crystallization of the surveillance society, right? The view screens, as you may or may not know, after a certain number of years, you are expected to have read 1984. We'll be checking on you. Oh, or maybe you're in trouble now, because they'll know you're reading 1984, and yet, like, you're in trouble. You know. It was a brilliant idea where these television screens that were two-way, they could see you and talk to you and vice versa. And there was always a telescreen everywhere you went. I think Winston had a little corner where he thought they couldn't see him. And it was like the whole novel is about people trying to find places where they're not being seen, but of course it turns out they're being seen. Orwell was there. Of course, 1984 being one of our classic dystopic novels. Okay, well, in this hard-nosed, super authoritarian environment, you might say those telescreens from 1984 have metastasized into every nook and cranny of our sorry little, colorless, rainy, thunderstruck, dystopic lives. Let me hear you say dystopic lives.
You won't shoot me, will you?
Of course I won't shoot you. Just say dystopic lives.
Will you apologize for calling me an ugly little man?
All right, that's it. Bob, I cannot work with this guy. Bob. I don't know what's going on here. You're living, if you're contemporary with this show, you're living in dystopia. Yes, you thought you were living in the USA, but the USA has faded away. Aww. The USA has turned into a kind of a Orwellian allegory. That's why this show feels a little like an Orwellian allegory experienced under heavy drugs. Just kidding. We should only take the good drugs. But I'm quite serious, my friend. Living in a dystopia affects your brain. To put it melodramatically, living in a dystopia, which we really are, distorts your brain. It affects your brain. By which I simply mean it'll be filled with whatever chemicals come along with paranoia. Whatever chemicals come along with everyone getting poorer. Everyone getting poorer. It's just like, have you not read the dystopia news? Here you go. Hey Jim, hey Tim, I was just reading the dystopia news. I bet that's a bummer. It really is. We're living in a dystopic economic world where the income is being sucked into the top 0.001%, worse than a cyberpunk movie. Security alert, security alert. The Perry Logan Show, Paranoia Matrix, has been hijacked by a funny-looking little guy who cannot jump on the trampoline at all, and the audience hates it. Security has been alerted, and this offending person will be disappeared.